Good morning, welcome to Northwestern State University, and welcome to the 2023 Graduate In Club Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The In Club has been in existence since the late 1960s. This Hall of Fame has been in existence since the late 1960s, and it is one of the most elite honors that the university gives, and it is the greatest honor that the athletic program gives to its former student athletes, coaches, and others involved with athletics. Thank you all for being here because you're all part of the Northwestern family. My name is Doug Ireland. It was my privilege for 30 years to be the sports information director here. It was my privilege before that to be a student here and see the likes of Joe Delaney play football and run track. I saw greatness, and we're going to celebrate greatness this morning. Before we get started with the presentations, we want to welcome our athletic director, Kevin Bastian.
Thanks, Doug. Welcome. This is an exciting day on NSU's campus to welcome you all back for the 2023 In Club Hall of Fame ceremony. First off, I want to congratulate all 9 of our distinguished Hall of Fame members and the first full team to go win with the men's basketball team. So let's give a round of applause for everybody. Included in the honorees is a 2-time All-American, numerous All-Southland honorees, as I mentioned before, the first true team sport team to be inducted, record breakers whose records have stood for decades and some which will still stand today. Each did it in their own way, some with emotions on their sleeves, others with a quiet confidence. And this is another deep, talented class that highlights a sizable portion of NSU's golden age of athletics. Congratulations to all the inductees.
Now, this is something you'll see a lot. The microphone does not adjust to me. I have to adjust the microphone. It's just nature takes its course. Marcus Spears was on me. He says, look, it's after 9 o'clock. Why haven't we started? I said, Marcus, when have you ever been on time? But before we begin inductions, I want to recognize people in the audience who are already in the In Club Hall of Fame. If you are in the In Club Hall of Fame, please stand at this time and let us honor you. I also want to recognize a gentleman who was integral to the careers, to the very lives of all of our honorees this morning while they competed, because he was very passionately connected to each and every student athlete in our athletic program. 26 years as our director of athletics, and undoubtedly will be a future. He's already been honored by the In Club, but I think he should probably be a formal inductee at some point in the near future. Greg Burke. And I want to thank Kevin, Scott Maggio, and most of all Cindy Davis for their very hard work and their earnest efforts in pulling this together and making it the special event it is for all of the honorees. Thank y'all very much. Also, I want to recognize the busiest man on campus today. He was not able to be here earlier, but he is here now, our 20th president, Dr. Marcus Jones. Let's get to the party. Now, I worked here for 30 years. I oversaw a lot of team pictures. I was only in one. That's me, right next, and this is how old it was, right next to a skinny Coach Black. Now, for those of you who don't know, Coach Black has had some health challenges. He's now in a wheelchair. His heart is here with us this morning, but he's not able to get around as much as he'd like to. But he's still talking about you, and he's probably calling half of y'all, that's for sure. But it was an honor to be in this picture, and the reason that I was proud to be there was I understood the significance of what this team meant to our university. We've been playing basketball in Division I since 1977. When Mike McConaughey got here, we'd only had 5 winning seasons in 24 years. He stood up at his press conference and talked about returning Northwestern basketball to what it was when his dad and his uncles played here in the 40s and early 50s, when we won conference championships, when 20-win seasons happened, when gymnasiums were packed. And honest to God, I looked at the guy, and I knew Mike a little bit and certainly knew of him from many testimonies from people, and I thought, this guy's from Mars. This can't happen at Northwestern. The end of his first year, we're in the conference championship game. Second year, we're in the NCAA tournament and winning a game. Junior college coach, he didn't do it with a bunch of new players. He did it with the guys who were here, built around them, and believed in them. Brought them along, and this team became not only an NCAA tournament team, we got to go to the cradle of college basketball, Dayton, Ohio, and if you've never been there, if you love college basketball, you got to get to Dayton, whether it's a regular season game or one of those NCAA tournament games. It is a special place. They treasure the sport. And this community magnetized to this basketball team. They became Dayton's darlings for that week. It was very, very, very special. So we've only honored a couple of relay teams previously as teams. The 1966 unbeaten team, the 1939 unbeaten team in football, they've got numerous inductees in this Hall of Fame. This team has no inductees yet individually in the Hall of Fame, so it's very appropriate that the N Club has decided to honor this team through voting and the selection process. If there are any, by the way, are there any selection committee members in the audience? If you would, please stand. Those folks helped. We had about 15 former student athletes and coaches. Greg was one of them. There's 14 others. That's right. Big Skinny Spears was one of them, that's for sure. But this was a remarkable team, and I can talk forever. I'm going to shut up and let the guy who pulled them together, who motivated them, who steered them, inspired them, guided them. Mike McConaughey is our first presenter. Watch the screen, please.
You know, much of the inspiration for many success stories comes from near misses in athletics and life. You know, such is the case of a loss in the 1999-2000 Southland Conference Championship game to Lamar. Gone from that team are players like Richard Taylor, Brent Shropshire, Charles Thompson, Brian Rayner, and Kenton Fisher. The next year rolled around for the 2000-2001 team, which had a collection of returnees such as Chris Thompson, Josh Hancock, Pooh Davis, Alan Polk, Ryan DePlessis, Gerald McCray, Will Burks, and B.J. Netterville. Two talented red shirts were Michael Byers-Dawson, transferring in from Miami, and Chris Lynch, who came from University of California, Santa Barbara, along with freshmen and JC transfers, Dior Fisher and Michael Edwards. Corey Wilson came from Hill Junior College, and Melvin Roberts came from out in Phoenix. A former Quit Mississippi player came to us from Northland Pioneer. After a slow start in the season, which saw the Demons get off to an 11-11 start, 2 wins over Oral Roberts, 1 at home, 1 on the road. They riddled off 7 out of the last 8 to win an opportunity to go to the Southland Conference tournament, at which they collected wins over Nichols on the road, UTSA in the tournament semifinals in Bossier City, and then winning the regular season championship against McNeese in Bossier City at the CenturyTel Center. Beating McNeese in the championship game a week after being defeated by them in Lake Charles in the regular season game, the team sat and watched the Cowboys cut down the nets for their regular season championship. I remember thinking, we will be cutting down the nets over the Cowboys when it matters the most. Keeping the faith, the resurgence of Demon basketball. In this year, we were the Southland Conference tournament champions. We were open round winners over Winthrop, 71-67. We were the darlings of Dayton, playing in an opening round game there in Dayton, Ohio. We were the 2001 NCAA Midwest Region participant. First time that a team since 1992 had won their first ever NCAA tournament game. Demons were the lead story in the ESPN Center March 13th, 2001. NSU got featured length coverage in USA Today and 3 consecutive days from the run in the NCAA tournament. I can remember spending many times with 2 cell phones in my hand with Doug Ireland as we tried to manage all the different coverage that Northwestern State was getting at that present time. We had 4 national tournament appearances in 2 years. We had a 20-5 home record at Prather Coliseum over that 2-year period. Josh Hancock was named a 2001 Male Scholar Athlete of the Year, and Michael Myers Dawson voted the 2001 SLC Tournament MVP. The specialness of this team was they were so willing to give up personal statistics for the good of the team. And it is being celebrated today as we're enshrining them into the In-Club Hall of Fame. A long time ago, in 1999, in March, I was interviewed for the job at Northwestern State University. Ryan DePlessis asked me a question at the end of my interview, which he said, "Coach, what are you going to do with us?" Meaning the guys that had been on the team the previous year. My response was, if you keep your grades up and take care of your business off the floor, you will be a part of a championship program, and that is what happened. Thank you for having confidence in our staff and our university.
Something Coach didn't mention, but this was the absolute mantra of this team. It was what they believed every day, and he spoke to it. They said, the MVP of our team is our team. And so at this time, I invite all the team members, staff from the 2001 NCAA Tournament Demons to please join us here on stage. Now, the challenge we had in trying to figure out how to handle this presentation, at first we thought, let's just let everybody speak. No. Then we said, let's let Chris Thompson speak, and we said, that won't work either. No, go back. There's time limits here. And besides, if you spoke, you'd get 2 technicals while you were speaking. Now, we have plaques that we give to individual inductees. Each member of this team, staff, players, coaches, are going to receive individual plaques that Kevin is now displaying. They will, guys and ladies, you'll get these after the ceremony because we hand them out now. We'd have to find the names, match everybody else, but you each get one of those to take home with you. And as we tried to figure out who would be a great spokesperson for this team, it's exactly the guy who spoke up in the meeting. Exactly the guy who, if you needed a rebound, he got the rebound. If you needed a clutch shot, he made the clutch shot. If you needed a steal, he made the steal. He got the ball. He was the Swiss Army knife of this team, and he was very much like these other guys. They all had their heart and soul in this team. Ryan DePlessis, if you'll come make some remarks, please.
Well, I must say, Coach Mike and Doug stole a lot of my material. But nonetheless, the drive up to Natchitoches from New Orleans was just so emotional, thinking about my teammates. And on behalf of them, I want to just say thank you to the N-Club for inducting us into this Hall of Fame. It means a lot. I know it means the world to me. I'm sure my teammates the same. We come from different places, different walks of life. When I came up, I saw myself as a big city kid, right, from New Orleans. I meet my teammates, and, you know, you just don't know because you're meeting a different type of person, and you think, oh, because I'm a big city kid, big school, big high school, with accolades, you know, you kind of think you're above. But these guys taught me so much about going to war, stepping in between those lines, and there were no other teammates I would want to go to war with than these guys right here. So give them a round of applause. As Doug alluded to, you know, we didn't do much winning up here. My freshman year was rough. A few of these guys shared those losses with me, but change was coming, and that change came when Coach Mike stepped into the locker room. And he's right. You know, we were all, you know, just kids at the time and didn't know what our future was. But me being that big personality, that type of guy, I said, Coach, look, let us know what you gonna do. I mean, what you gonna do with us? And he was a man of his word. He said, if you take care of your business, you'll have a spot on this team. If you work hard, you'll have a spot on this team. And we thank, I know I personally thank him for that every time I see him. And I want to let you know that right now. And give him a round of applause, please. That initial team that took all the losses, we had some other guys on that team that Coach alluded to, Richard Taylor, Kenton Fisher, Brent Shropshire. These are also guys that went to war with us. Blood, sweat, tears, fun times, bad times. So I want Kenton to stand up also. Come on, stand up. Round of applause for Kenton. Some of our other guys aren't here, obviously, but I definitely did not want them to get left out. But with Coach Mike came some other guys also. He brought a tremendous assistant coach with him, Dave Simmons. He's not in attendance, but I don't want this. Oh, that's not Dave Simmons up there. It looked like him on the corner up here at the top. Yeah. Coach Dave Simmons did a tremendous job holding us together. Those times when you leave practice and, you know, teams going 100 different ways, all getting fighting. Coach Simmons was that guy to come into the apartment, sit down with us, talk to us, not like kids, but as young men, and instill confidence and give us direction on where we were going. Coach Mike gave us direction also, but it's just the tiers of coaching that some of you understand. You have to have that guy. So please give a round of applause to Dave Simmons, who's not here. And, you know, that leads me to some of the newcomers who came onto this team. Chris Thompson, Mike Byers-Dawson, Chris Lynch, Corey Wilson. I don't want to leave anybody out. Melvin Roberts, Dior Fisher. I mentioned Corey. These guys, Michael Edwards, yeah, of course. Yeah. These guys came in, and, you know, when you already have people in place, you know, you kind of have somewhat of ownership. You feel like something's yours, and you get new guys come in. But these guys were accepting of us. They earned our respect. We knew what we had been through, and we wanted to see if those guys were made of the same thing we were made of, if they were cut from the same cloth mentally that we were. And they earned our respect from day one. And some of them aren't here, but I just want to tell those guys I love them. I wouldn't have wanted to play with anyone else. And we just have to thank Coach for the opportunity he gave us. Northwestern is near and dear to my heart now. I don't get here as much as I want to. I know my teammates do, but it is a blessing and an honor to share this stage with these guys. And I want to thank Doug also. And, I mean, that's it, really. I wish I had more, but they stole a lot of my material. And Coach Mike thought he was slick. I saw the video. The video was good because, you know, had he got up here, I know he would have cried. So the video was slick. I like it. Good job. And I thank y'all. Appreciate it.
I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. Alan Polk, I don't know if I said your name in that video. And if I did, okay, because Forrest White I didn't get to say, and Forrest White came here when I came here. He was an amazing guy from Angelina, and he was our trainer. Of course, Miss Elaine Clark was our administrative assistant, and Miss Connie has been with me 45 years. And I'm thankful for it. And when I met her, she'd never seen a game before, and she's seen a lot since then. But I am so grateful to all these young men. Chad Moon, I didn't mention you in the talk either. Appreciate you. And Ed Evans is sitting over there. He wouldn't come up here with us. But we're so grateful for y'all believing in this institution, getting your degree from this institution, and then going on and being successful citizens in whatever walk of life you have. And thank you for the witness that you give each day for our Lord Jesus Christ. Thank y'all.
And again, you'll have plaques to get after the ceremony. It's good to see Forrest. There's never been a more hard-working manager than Forrest. I can tell you that right now. Also want to recognize, we mentioned Chad Moon, his boss, and a guy who's so important to Northwestern Athletics for so many years, Ed Evans, our longtime athletic trainer. Thank you, Ed. And two people up there who were integral parts, and one continues to be. Our compliance director, my former assistant, Dustin Eubanks, and Roxanne Freeman, athletic business manager for forever until she retired. Okay, gang, let's go on down the road, and we will see you guys at the end. We'll bring everybody back up on stage, and we'll go on with the induction. That's beautiful. As Leno, as we called her, pointed out, Coach Mike nurtured the students and coached the athletes. And with that graduation rate and that success rate, I think that speaks volumes. We have two inductees who are not here with us this morning. We will honor them at a future date. Matt Donner, great baseball player, and Gene Tennyson, an incredible football player. They are not able to be here today, but they'll be inducted in future years, but they have been elected, and they're going to be part of the In-Club Hall of Fame, so we do want to pay homage to those two gentlemen. And now we want to pay homage to an incredible competitor, Ahmad Willis, and to talk about his teammate, another great Demon football player on championship teams, on playoff teams, guys who were not only great players but great teammates, and to talk about his friend and teammate, Ahmad Willis, Roy Locks.
Good morning, everyone. I've been tasked to talk a little bit about a guy that I played with, a guy I consider family, a guy that I consider my brother, known to some of us football players as Todd Oliver. That's an inside thing we'll tell you one day. But Mr. Ahmad Willis, 1998 signing class, myself and Ahmad were two of the people that came in at the same time. Very similar, small town Texas football players. Our families hit it off good from the beginning, and we pretty much were inseparable for a while. But just when you see him athletically, you can tell he was going to be special. He was strong already, good sense of humor, but he was athletic. You know, he was a tennis player, which is crazy for a defensive lineman to be a tennis player. He was really good at it. And as we developed, he started living up to that hype. On the field, by far the best ball get off, fastest ball get off that I've seen out of anyone I played with. He just made crazy plays after play after play. And just being on the same defense with him, both when I played linebacker and when I was able to play opposite of him at defensive end, I mean, in my opinion, we complemented each other well, but we were able to do some things defensively, and we were really good defensively, and a lot of that credit goes to Ahmad. Just in the weight room, you knew you could find him. He was somewhere on the bench press, at the dumbbells, or doing push-ups. Upper body was definitely his thing, and if you ever saw Ahmad, you can tell he spent some time doing upper body. Quick story, just kind of some humor, a little humor. We always used to mess with him because he always wore flip-flops. Everywhere he went, he wore flip-flops. And when he dressed up, he would put on these sandals, and we referred to those as Jesus slippers. And so we would mess with him all the time about those Jesus slippers. So when I sit back and I just kind of reflect sometimes, I look at thinking about Ahmad, and I'm like, okay, Ahmad is somewhere walking around heaven right now with an authentic pair of Jesus slippers on, trying to find out what the bench press max is in heaven. Ahmad, we love you. Tell Kurt we said hello. Once again, congratulations, everybody. Fork 'em Demons.
Coach Sam Goodwin is not with us this morning, but I'll always remember him saying, got a kid who's going to be really good. He's just a freshman. He won't have to start him. Ahmad Willis. And he couldn't stop talking about Ahmad Willis. And anybody who saw him play talked about Ahmad Willis. Among the many things he did, one that will certainly stick out forever in our football history is when he reached up and swatted down that field goal in overtime to wrap up the Demons' victory at TCU, a bowl team that year, a major bowl team the year before. Nobody thought the Demons would win the game except the Demons. And Ahmad Willis closed it out, as he did so often during his career. We lost him earlier this year. He was a treasured son, friend, teammate, father, companion. And he came, it's so beautiful when you see athletes come to Northwestern. Nearly everybody had great family support. Grew up on a farm, and you talk about great family support. Ahmad had it. He treasured his parents, and his mom is here to speak and accept this morning. Please welcome Miss Rebecca Willis.
Good morning. Before I have a few words to say about Ahmad, I want to give our condolence and prayers to the Carwell family and the NSU family and campus. First, I want to thank Northwestern State University and the Club Committee for this great honor in recognizing our son, Ahmad Willis. Ahmad was not only just a student athlete, he was a dedicated Demon. He was a father, he's a companion to a special person, a grandson, a brother, a nephew, a cousin, and friends to many who represent him today. Also, he was a great graduate of Northwestern State University. I would like to tell you just a little story about how we started this journey to Northwestern. We were in a basketball tournament in a little small town in Texas, and our basketball coach came up to us, his dad and I, and said, "Hey, there's a guy here from Northwestern State." And of course, our face gleamed and smiled, and we was like, "Yay." He said, "But coach," talking to my husband was Ahmad's coach, and he said, hey, he wanted to know who that guy was over there. And I said to him, our coach said, "Which one are you talking about?" He says, "Well, I'm talking about that one over there with the briefcase." And so we just smiled at each other and said, briefcase? And so coach came over and says, "Yeah." He said, "The Northwestern coach, who we now know is the legendary Mr. Coach good one. He said, yes, that one with the briefcase. And he says, that's my kind of guy. And our coach says, well, we kind of like him too. And so, but what Coach Owen did not know, it wasn't a briefcase. I don't know if you guys remember the CD player cases that had about 35 CDs in it with that little bitty disc player. That was Ahmad's briefcase. But he made us proud that day. And so we've been able to tell, my husband went on to be able to tell student athletes and his players that same story. You are who your first impression is a great impression to some people. So that's the kind of guy that, and Ahmad, so that's how we started this journey to Northwestern. And Ahmad became a recipient, 5-year recipient of a scholarship here at Northwestern. And listening to my lovely Bess, he could live with me any day and be with our family, but he has a mom and dad. Roy Locks, I listened to him talk about Ahmad's amazing personality. Ahmad was very different sometimes. He was in his own little bubble, but that is what his family loved and adored about him. That's the kind of guy that God chose to take to heaven early. A guy that big things didn't matter to him. It was the small things that counted. He prepared himself to follow his dreams and his goals. Every day that the sun came up, Ahmad was positive. Our family cannot see and say a time when we reminisce about him that he was sad. Always a smile. Every time he would call me 3 and 4 times a week, and his sister nearly every day. He would be going to do something positive, going to help somebody, or going to do his favorite things. So every time helping someone that was in need, or playing with a child that would play with him, or giving everyone a smile. Although our hearts are filled with grief, but we are here to celebrate some things with Ahmad and this club. I'm so thankful that he is an inductee with the 12 most honorable students and athlete. You know, some people take for granted a student athlete, but that's a lot of work. That is more than a normal person can give every day in their job. So we respect that and we appreciate that. To the committee, you don't know this, but I'm going to tell you this little short story. Our family, my daughter, my son, my husband, we've been struggling to figure out what to do on this day. But as it would be, and we're strong believers in our God, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Well, in club committee, without you knowing, you were the decision maker of this day. After receiving the call about Ahmad being inducted into the Hall of Fame, the news came to us that about a week or so before that. It brought tears to our eyes, but peace in our heart that we did not have to struggle to figure out what to do on this day. Being inducted with these fine athletes, and we are also here to celebrate his birthday. Yes, today is Ahmad's 44th heavenly birthday. Northwestern State, again, you did something great for our family. You brought him here, made a man of him, and he went on out to do great things. As the basketball coach said early, you honorees have shown that through your lifetime, or you wouldn't be here. So we thank you, Northwestern. Ahmad was just that kind of person. He never struggled with what to do once he knew what he wanted to do and what he needed to do. I say to everyone here today, especially the honorees that are inducted into this prestigious Hall of Fame here at Northwestern, you accomplished some great artifacts here at this university. Your work ethics have been proven. Your distinguished habits and your etiquette through your adult life is beyond doubt. Ahmad did not like a lot of acolytes, media, recognition, or much attention. He had received many and many awards in his little short lifetime, but we are honored that he stands with such a distinguished class of 2023 in club. I'm sure I said a lot more than Ahmad would have ever had to say, but if he were standing here today, his speech would not be about him. His speech would be about encouraging young people to have the best work ethics that you could ever have. In Ahmad's words, and his children are here to witness this, he would say, you have to put in the work. Once you put in the work, the results will show its own. So I say to everyone here today, put in the work. Live your life to the fullest. Make sure that it doesn't harm anyone. But on your journey, invite someone to enjoy it with you. My son left here inviting people to live the life with him. That's what Ahmad would do. Thank you again, NSU, your in-club committee. We appreciate this honor, and we will stand proudly with it. Congratulations, and happy birthday, Ahmad. We miss you deeply.
Okay, for those of you who are yet to be inducted, the good news is you're going to be inducted. The bad news is you have to follow that speech. Thank you, Rebecca. That was beautiful. Ahmad was definitely a man of not a lot of words and didn't like the spotlight, but he found himself in it again and again and again. I want to add some context. Ms. Willis did a great job of pointing out how elite this group is. If you go back through the history of Northwestern State University, and athletics intercollegiately have been played here since 1907, you do the math, that's 126 years, about to be 127. There's been a lot of great things happen. But in the decade pretty much from the mid-90s to 10, 12 years forward, I call that the golden era, or maybe the purple era, because you look across, and Annie Johnson and I were talking about this morning, you look across, and nearly every team we had was not only winning, they were winning championships. They were in NCAA postseason play. They were representing this university at the highest level. And so as you honor these athletes, realize there were nearly 60 athletes on this ballot, many of whom, most of whom deserve to be in this Hall of Fame, but these 12 were chosen. So it's an extra special honor to be in this induction class this year. And so we come to Jackie Kenton, who was certainly one of those who represented us on the national stage, who represented us herself as a student athlete, and who just kept going higher and higher, getting better and better. I invite you, if you don't have a program, be sure to pick one on the way up. I'm not going to go through credentials, as you've already noticed on each inductee. Those are listed in the program, and they're remarkable. So please get a program. If you don't have it, they're outside. But at this time, we'll go to Jackie's coach, Dean Johnson.
Good morning. In the spring of 1999, the track coach at St. Augustine High School in Texas, Coach Felicia Ford, called my father about one of her athletes. Understand that Coach Ford was an outstanding track and field athlete at Stephen F. Austin. Coach Ford's heart and soul is SFA. And in spite of this, she called us regarding Jacqueline Canton coming to Northwestern State to jump. And we are forever grateful for Coach Ford's phone call. In Jackie's freshman year, she won both the high jump and triple jump at the conference championship outdoors. This started the beginning of a prolific career in jumping at Northwestern State. Jackie's a 5-time conference champion. 3-time indoor high jump champion. Jackie qualified for the NCAA Division I outdoor championships, both in the high jump and triple jump. For decades, Northwestern State has arguably been one of the best men's and women's jumps program in the nation. The program's success is attributed to athletes like Jackie. Her talent, her work ethic, the way she competed, contributed to the success of Northwestern State track and field excellence. Inasmuch to my father and myself, it is truly an honor and privilege to have coached Jackie. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Jacqueline Canton Barnes as a new member to the In-Club Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jacqueline Canton Barnes. Jackie? I always rooted extra special for Jackie. I know as you look at me, you naturally assume, yes, he was a high jumper too. And I was in the 8th grade, 5'6", I kid you not. No, that's not my height, that's the height I cleared. That was then, this is now. Jackie, congratulations.
Good morning. I would first like to thank Northwestern State University and everyone that had a part in making this happen. This is such a great honor, and I am forever grateful to be inducted in such. Growing up in a family full of athletes, sports had always been a part of my life. At a young age, not knowing then what type of athlete I would be, I figured by being surrounded by so much talent that I would be some type of athlete. From watching my brother, my cousins, and other hometown greats excel in what they participated in, the inspiration of making a name for myself was brought to life. I knew hard work and commitment would be a part of it as I watched the ones before me. I knew disappointments and trials would someday come as I seen those before me had to work harder when things didn't go as planned. But what I learned most was how to set a goal, be dedicated to what I started, and without a doubt, never give up. I experienced it all, and through it all, I believed. I had a goal, I dreamed of being among the best, and I never let anything stop me. I give so many thanks to my coaches, Dean and Leon Johnson. Dean was persistent. He came to my small hometown and told me how much he saw in me and guaranteed he will do all he can to help me be all I can be. He was a man of his word, the smartest, goofiest, most knowledgeable jump coach on this side. I give so much to him for bringing more out of me. To this day, I mimic so much of my coaching to what he taught me, and I will be forever grateful for the opportunity that he gave me. To Coach Leon, thanks for always telling me to just go for it. Know your body and just do it. To my family, who has always supported and celebrated me. To all my teammates I had while on the track team, and to the ones I see here present today. And for everybody that I met while at Northwestern, thank you. Thank you. To come back to this school when I thought this chapter was closed, and to reopen the book and edit on the last page, 2023 Hall of Fame inducted, my heart is full, and my love will be here forever. Thank you.
One last podium for Jackie Canton. Congratulations, Jackie. As I said, the purple era, if you will, of Northwestern athletics, just extraordinary accomplishment in so many sports, and soccer is certainly right up at the top of that list. Our next inductee, as we looked at soccer and tried to figure out who should be on the ballot, the credentials have to be extraordinary because there are so many good players. Three-time all-conference is really extraordinary. When you consider she played 3 seasons, that makes it even more extraordinary. And when she was a Southland Conference Player of the Year, that sets it off. Her coach at the time, Jimmy Mitchell, called us and said, "Why isn't Brittany in?" Well, she is now. Congratulations, Brittany Cargill.
Good morning, and congratulations to all 12 N Club Hall of Fame inductees. I had the privilege of watching each one of you compete, and I could not be happier that you're now going to stand alongside the greatest athletes in NSU history. I'm honored to introduce Brittany Cargill Baker, and there is not a more appropriate place to do that than right here inside a soccer goal. Brittany held the NSU career record for goals scored for 22 years. Think about that, 22 years. The sport has grown a lot over the last 22 years, and until the fall of 2022, that record held. Furthermore, Brittany's name peppers Southland Conference and NSU record books, much like she peppered opposing goalkeepers with shots on goal, many of which, of course, found the back of the goal. There's not enough time in this speech to talk about every top 10 list for Southland Conference records or NSU records that contains the name Brittany Cargill, but I want to talk about 2. First of all, there's that adage that you got to shoot to score, and scorers love to shoot, and that was Brittany. She, to this day, is #1 ranked in Southland Conference history in shot attempts and also at NSU in shot attempts. Secondly, Brittany is #1 in points scored in a match, points scored in a season, and points scored in a career. And for those not familiar with soccer vernacular, points are calculated on 2 points for a goal, 1 point for an assist. And speaking of assist, I think it's noteworthy that she still, to this day, is ranked 7th all time in NSU career assists. Okay, a little deviation, but stay with me. Stand-up comedian Richard Pryor one time said, and don't worry, I'm not going to say it like he would say it, if some of y'all know what I mean, but he said that Jim Brown was a quiet but fierce competitor, and Jim Brown is arguably the best running back in NFL history. Jim's opponents would taunt him, they kind of got dirty with him, and he never said a word. He would simply stand up after getting tackled, and he would say, "That's going to cost you 35 yards." And he'd go back to the huddle and say, "Give me the ball." Well, in much the same way, I talked to Brittany's teammates. In fact, 2 of the teammates I talked to are already in the NSU Hall of Fame, Holly Horn Broussard and Missy Payne Howe. And they all said the same thing, that much like Jim Brown, Brittany was a marked person. The other team knew her, they scouted her, they knew they had to stop her, they tried to get in her head, they tried to rough her up. None of it worked. All it really did was elevate an already intense level of determination. You made her mad, she made you pay. That's what one of the teammates said. Another teammate said when the game was on the line, Brittany wanted the ball and Brittany got the ball. Another teammate described her as fast and powerful at the same time. For me, that's what I remember about Brittany, dribbling the ball down the field and outrunning her opponent. Now keep in mind, she's kicking the ball, they're running without the ball, and she's still beating them down the field. And then for the ones that could keep up with her, she just pretty much just shoved them out of the way, much like a running back would, because she had an unmatched level of physicality. I talked with Jimmy Mitchell, who is Brittany's coach for the last 2 seasons she played here, and Jimmy, who wishes he could be here, by the way, his son is playing in his last high school soccer match today, and obviously Jimmy wanted to be there, but Jimmy said that her competitiveness was at another level compared to everybody else. Finally, great players often elevate their teams to greater heights. 2000 marked only the 5th season in the history of the NSU soccer program, yet that year, with Brittany playing a major role, they won the Southland Conference regular season championship and the Southland Conference tournament, which earned them a berth in the NCAA postseason play, the first ever for NSU. That team actually won 9 straight matches to finish the season, going through the conference tournament before coming up short in the NCAAs at Montana. Brittany, who was the Southland Conference Player of the Year and the Southland Conference Tournament MVP, accounted that season for nearly 40% of NSU scoring, either by making a goal herself or assisting her teammate to score a goal. In closing, I'll say this. Good players come and good players go. But in the 28-year history of the NSU soccer program, very few have, and honestly, I don't think very few ever will match the talent, the ability, the determination, the accomplishments, and the career of Brittany Cargill Baker. So it is my privilege and honor to introduce Brittany for induction into the NSU N Club Hall of Fame.
Please welcome N Club Hall of Famer Brittany Cargill Baker.
Wow, Greg, thank you so much for your kind words, and nice touch that you filmed that in the net. Yeah, I'm just overwhelmed to be here today with all of these amazing athletes. I'm extremely honored and very grateful. So thank you to the committee for selecting me to be a part of this 2023 N Club Hall of Fame. Thank you. So it feels so good to be back on campus. Really great. We went to the pep rally last night and really enjoyed all of the enthusiasm and energy of the students. There's a lot of school pride here, and I think we can all understand why. Sorry, I'm nervous. I also got to go to the field. I took my family out to the field where so many of my great memories were made. As I was standing out there, I can remember driving to NSU for the first time 25 years ago, and I was so nervous. But it didn't take very long to feel like I was part of a family here. And I credit that to my teammates, the coaching staff, athletic director, and all of the athletic staff that we have here. So the success that I achieved as a player would not have been possible without my very talented teammates and devoted coaching staff. Jimmy Mitchell pushed me to develop really into the player that I became. I give him a lot of credit. He was a fantastic coach. And he did a really good job of building the cohesiveness of our team, and we were functioning as a unit, you know, and it was like a well-oiled machine at times out there. He was a really great coach. I learned so many skills on the field, like hard work, determination, teamwork, and perseverance. And I still apply these to my life today. So I am extremely grateful to NSU for giving me the opportunity to play here. And and for this incredible recognition today. So thank you.
Between her and Aaron, we should have had a soccer ball up here, and there should be something going on with your feet. Congratulations. When you went to Brown Stroud Field for 4 years, when Brandon Morgan was playing, there were some things you could count on, and one was who was playing second base and how well he was playing it and how much fun he was having playing it and his unique walk-up music. Maybe he'll address that. But I know this, everybody who was at the bistro back then is glad this day has come, and has come ahead of many other outstanding, well-deserving Demon baseball players. 3 times all-conference, a 4-year starter, Brandon Morgan, and talking about BMO is his mother, Monique.
Good morning. I'm Monique Morgan, the proud mother of Brandon Morgan, and it is my incredible honor to be presenting him today. I can vividly remember how excited Brandon was to come to NSU and play Division I baseball in the Southland Conference. He felt that every day you either got better or you got worse, and he was willing to put in the work to always get better. His work ethic was infectious, and he made everyone around him want to be better. He believed in team sport and everyone working together, and always believed that everyone was about the unit. Brandon's leadership abilities rose to the forefront, and he quickly became a leader both on the field and in the dugout. He had many highlights during his career at NSU. To name a few, he held, I believe, every record at one point, but continues to currently have the all-time record for hits, RBIs, and triples. He's especially proud of being a part of the 2005 Southland Conference championship team and being named the 2000's first team all-decade for the Southland Conference. Brandon has some personal highlights as well. He met his wife-to-be, the 2007 Lady of the Bracelet, Karina Harwood, now Karina Harwood Morgan. They have 2 sons, and so now he is the leader of that team. Brandon's very passionate about family and has continued the baseball tradition with his own son. He coaches his little league and is very influential in cultivating his son's love of baseball.
Seeing those pictures reminded me of another thing. We talked about how much BMO enjoyed the game. You could see the smile wherever you were in the ballpark. He was kind of our own Ernie Banks, and he was that level of player for the Demons. Please welcome in-club Hall of Famer, Brandon BMO Morgan.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it, man.
And one special request, you got to explain, you hear country, you hear rap, you hear rock and roll, you hear folk music even. BMO's walk-up music was one of a kind.
Yeah. A little Mozart, no big deal. I'll get to the story a little bit later. I'll tell you what, I'm super appreciative and thankful for the opportunity today. I think, I went through every emotion, when we received the call, and was excited. I quickly moved into Humboldt because there's a lot of really great, incredible athletes that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. I even got a little like cocky with it, you know. I was like, oh man, what took him so long to call me? I should have been in a couple years ago. But I think waking up this morning, what I landed on was extremely grateful. I want to just say thank you to the in-club committee, and congratulations to all the inductees as well. It's a really big day for all of us. So I think the thing that I realized as my mom was talking about my family and upbringing and some of the records, you know, the reality of the situation is, you know, I could get up here and talk about myself, but I was really created. And what I mean by that, I was created by a bunch of really strong women. So I'm fortunate and fortunate enough to have my great-grandmother in my life until I was 16 years old. I spent, you know, 50, 60% of my time at my great-grandmother's house, and she was really the rock of our family. And my great-grandmother was a sports fanatic, and I mean, like, always had sports on the TV. And, you know, I'm from Denton, Texas, and so I'm Go Rangers. We just won our first World Series for all the Rangers fans in the house. I know my, let's go. And I know my, and so I think one thing that my great-grandmother taught me was, she taught me you can go and create whatever you want to happen in life, and it just takes hard work and dedication. And, you know, I grew up in a sports house, and so my grandmother also grew up in that same house, and she was a sports fanatic. And, you know, my grandmother, I was fortunate enough to have her in my life, and just until a few years ago, and as I was sitting with my son watching the Texas Rangers win the World Series, we were actually at the game in Arizona. It was crazy. So that was a great experience for me and my son to share together. But as I'm sitting there, you know, I started crying and just realized that, you know, as you look backwards to connect the dots from my great-grandmother to my grandmother to my mother, and now creating my own legacy with my kids, you know, it's definitely something that holds a lot of weight for me and is really, really important. And I think, you know, I came into Northwestern as a pretty confident, young 17-year-old. They had written an article about me, and I felt really good to come in as a freshman. I thought I was going to start and do all these amazing things out the gate. But where that confidence came from was I just had a whole bunch of women in my life that, you know, really poured into me and made sure that I felt really good about myself and that I was confident in my own abilities, and that they instilled in me that you can actually just go and accomplish anything that you put your heart and mind behind. So I show up at Northwestern State feeling really good, and we had about 3 months until the season was about to start. And I realized that, you know, I was no longer the best. I was around a whole bunch of really good baseball players, and I got in there and played terrible. I played awful. And my head coach, Coach Mitch Gaspard, called me into his office, and he said, well, BMO, I think you need to sit out a year. You need to get bigger. You need to get faster. You need to get stronger. We're gonna redshirt you, and it just ain't working out. And I said, what? What do you mean it's not working out? So I got hit with the red shirt. I went home and pouted to my mom over Christmas break. I said, Mama, they not gonna let me play. I gotta sit out. I got red-shirted. And she was like, well, what you gonna do? And I think I quickly made the decision, you know, I'm gonna stick it out. I really liked Northwestern. I believed in the coach. I believed in the program. And I came back, and there was about 3 weeks before the season. And so we were doing some scrimmages amongst each other. And so I played a lot better, and my coach Gaspard called me back into his office and said, well, that's a little bit better. I think we have enough room for you to get your 40 at-bats. And for folks that don't know, that's about 5 games or so, 4 or 5 games worth of at-bats. And he said, I think I can get you 40 at-bats. I'm not going to promise anything, but, I think if you want to do that, then I'll give you the opportunity to play. I said, yep. Before he even finished his sentence, I'm like, yep, great, perfect. And so we went into LSU. We played a 3-game series to open up my freshman year. And the first game of the series, I didn't play at all. And I wasn't expecting to play at all that weekend. And the second game of the series, he gave me the opportunity to play. And the first ground ball that was hit to me, I bobbled it. Everybody's safe. And the next batter hit a 3-run home run. I'm like, oh, my God. And so ultimately ended up having a really good game, got 3 hits, stole a base, made all the other plays in that game. The next day, I didn't play. And then the following Tuesday, I got an opportunity to play and had a really good game and stayed in the lineup ever since. But I think one of the things that I learned from Coach Gaspard was he was maniacal about preparation. Every practice was like the most intense playoff game that you could ever have. And those are things that I take into my day-to-day life, into my work life and with my family. Preparation is really, really important. And I think I thank him for instilling that in me and just believing in me and giving me a shot to play. So that was really, really important in my development. I do want to say a quick thank you to a guy named Dave Acton. When I was in high school, there was there was a travel baseball team. It was like $2,000 to play. My family didn't have it. We didn't have it. And he gave me an opportunity to play on the team for free and travel around all throughout the Southeast to Baylor and Florida State and all of these big-time college programs to lead into the opportunity to play at Northwestern. And so he gave me the keys to his indoor baseball facility and gave me hitting lessons for free. And he really poured into me. So he wasn't able to be here today, but I did want to say a heartfelt thank you to Dave Acton for giving me the opportunity. He really did not owe me anything and didn't need to let me play for free or give me access to his facility. So I wanted to say thank you to Dave. And I did want to say thank you to Miss Lady of the Bracelet, 2007, Karina Morgan. We talked a little bit about we can give it up for her. We talked a little bit about my walkout music, which was Mozart. I went to one of the Lady of the Bracelet ceremonies, and when I was there, I saw, I heard this music. I was like, man, that's like different. There was like a performance. I think they were doing a violin or something like that. But really, I was at the Lady of the Bracelet to watch Karina. That was before we were dating. I had a big crush on her, and so that's where the walk-up music comes from, Doug. If you ever wanted to know. But I just wanted to say thank you in closing to everybody. My family is here. Thank y'all for driving through the night. They got here this morning, so thank y'all very much. To my friends, I appreciate y'all a lot. Thank you for coming down. We got people in from Illinois, people in from Iowa, people in from Texas. So I really appreciate y'all. My cousin over here on the ones and twos with the video, my man, I appreciate you. But I just want to say, this university has given me everything. All my friends, all my family, my wife, the products of my wife, my son. We have another 4-year-old son that we left at home. But I just want to say a heartfelt thank you. I see so many familiar faces in the audience. Amanda, what's up? My boy Josh Hancock, my first friend at Northwestern State, where I moved into Indian summer. He helped us move in and invited us over, and he lived right across the hall from us. So it's great to see everybody, and I just want to say thank y'all. And I'm super grateful for the opportunity. I'm super humbled. Thank you, guys.
It's a man of culture. I didn't even know it was Mozart. I just knew it was different. Speaking of different, it didn't take long watching this young woman play that you saw she was different than everybody else out on the pitch, and that was borne very true throughout her career by the accomplishments that she and her team achieved. A remarkable student athlete and competitor. And the recurring theme this morning is mothers, so it's very appropriate to have Aaron Hebert's mom, Mary Barella, to talk about her daughter.
Good morning, I'm Mary Barella, and I have the ultimate privilege of introducing Aaron Hebert as Northwestern State In Club 2023 Hall of Fame inductee. Being Aaron's mother, I can tell you firsthand that speed and competitiveness came naturally, and it started from day one. From arriving at the hospital to hello world was less than an hour. She was born the first girl in Lafayette Parish on January 1st. Erin signed up for every sport from the age 10 on. Although she excelled in multiple sports, her heart was always with soccer. During her junior year of high school, the phone calls started from different universities. Erin's nerves were shot during that time. Finally, the visits were scheduled. Northwestern's visit stood out with the visual of her jersey complete with name and number 18 hanging in a locker. I was impressed with Northwestern being the only university visit that made appointments with not only the coach, but with the athletic director and academic counselor. Every year from 2004 to 2007 was so exciting. About a month into Erin's training, Coach Jimmy called and thanked me for instilling a strong work ethic in Erin. He said that Erin had no problems getting to the field for practice early in the mornings before classes. Erin gives 100% to everything she takes on, and it shows in her life's accomplishments. A few of those in Northwestern's college soccer career were currently ranked second in school history for points and assists. She was a two-time first-team All-Louisiana selection in 06 and 07. In Erin's senior year, she was named first-team All-Southland Conference as a forward, first-team All-Louisiana selection, and Southland Conference Player of the Year. The 2008 graduation was bittersweet, thinking that was it for soccer. Erin went on to her new career, but soccer is still very much a part of her life. Besides her career in physical therapy, she coaches select soccer for Louisiana Crew Rush and is such a positive role model for the girls that are fortunate enough to have her. She also trains one-on-one when time allows. Erin's growing family has given me an amazing daughter-in-law and two beautiful grandchildren. I pray that God's plan has them loving the game and allow me to still be here to watch from the sidelines. Erin, when you shared the news of your induction, I said I knew it. The fact is, what I knew is this is so deserving, and I'm so very proud to introduce Aaron Hebert as Northwestern State In Club Hall of Fame inductee, class of 2023. Congratulations, Aaron. We love you.
Please welcome In Club Hall of Famer, Aaron Hebert.
Oh, Lord, I'm not a public speaker. I'm not a public anything. Thank y'all. I'm going to just read my paper. I'm honored to be here today as an inductee into Northwestern's In Club Hall of Fame. I want to thank any and all persons responsible for voting me in. Thank you all who put this amazing event together while making this an incredible and unforgettable experience for me and my family. As an athlete, I played every sport that was available to me growing up. I fell in love with the game of soccer around the age of 12. That's when I found my first passion in life. Every time I stepped on the field, I forgot about the world around me. It gave me a feeling of freedom where I can express myself. So many lessons were learned and memories made through the game. I would pass the ball against the bricks of my house until I drove my mom crazy. There were countless windows that I shattered. One of my favorite weekends was a tournament out of state where, Mom, you're gonna remember this, you lost your wedding ring. We searched, felt like hours. We couldn't find it. She was freaking out. I probably didn't know what was going on at the time, but the whole time it was on her opposite hand. So I think I went to her vehicle to look for it. I locked the keys in the car. We had to call Papa Lock, and the next morning we showed up to the field, and no one was there. But it was daylight saving time, so we was an hour early. Had no idea. It was definitely a weekend to remember. I want to thank my parents for never forcing me into anything and for allowing me to make my own decisions. My confidence was never stripped from me in a post-game speech. Mom, thanks for being so selfless. I recognize now what it took from you to get me to trainings, games, tournaments, while juggling my siblings, your work, and your time. After a visit to Northwestern, during the Festival of Lights, I'm shaking. I knew that this was gonna be my home for the next 4 years. I want to thank Coach Jimmy Mitchell and Dave Laperouse for recruiting me and having the confidence in me to come here and have an impact on Northwestern's soccer program. I want to thank them for sharing this knowledge, their knowledge of the game with me to become a better player. I want to thank assistant coaches Miranda Hill and Michael Baker for also having an impact on the player I became. I'll never forget meeting the team the first time I came on campus. I sat next to a girl named Tiffany Kawanawa. She was from New Zealand. I didn't even know where New Zealand was on the map. She turned to me, started talking, and I turned and I was looking around for a translator. I couldn't understand her. She couldn't understand me. We were both speaking English, but we had no idea what we were both saying. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget running my first fitness test either. I drove my mom hand-me-down stick. I don't know if they still make those, but my legs wouldn't even work after the first fitness test. My teammate from Baton Rouge, Natalie Wagaspack, actually had to drive me back to my apartment because I couldn't press the clutch. When people ask me about my college career, I tell them it was the best 4 years of my life. Although I came here to play ball, I want to thank Northwestern University for my education. And in saving the best for last, I'd like to thank God for these talents and blessings. I wouldn't be half the person I am today without faith in my God. He has blessed me beyond measures with the most beautiful, God-fearing wife that allows me to coach the game that I am so passionate about. This is my way of giving back to the game and what it has given me. God has given us two gifts in the form of children, Rowan and Chet, that I look forward to coaching in this game of life. Thank y'all.
Again, context, Aaron and BMO, there aren't many people in this Hall of Fame younger than you are. You're ahead of your time in your induction, so congratulations. As she's walking up there, and I'm thinking one of our all-time greats, inducted in a sport that was at its peak when she was here and when Brittany was here, and we've got 12 people in the team. One of our greats. It's a pretty cool morning indeed. There was no doubt when Angela Davison arrived from Leesville with a detour in Oxford, Mississippi for a year, that she was going to be a special part of our women's basketball program that was as good as it got in the Southland Conference and around these parts and even in some places in the nation. Remarkable woman who earned 2 degrees, and again, somebody who will certainly attribute a great deal of her success to her mother, who is going to speak about her right now, Leah Sabez.
Hi, I'd like to introduce you to Angela Davidson Weathers. She's an amazing, talented, motivated young black woman who's had a career in basketball from the time she was in 5th grade on. She played 5th grade ball at the Youth Activity Center at Fort Polk, Louisiana. She played for Leesville Junior High, Leesville High School, went on to play for Ole Miss in Mississippi because it was the SEC school. And then she came back to Northwestern because she missed home. She was first team 2001 through 2002. She was SLC Player of the Year 2001 through 2002. She was first team 2002, 2003, and made the all-tournament team. But her basketball career did not stop there. She continued on to play basketball overseas in Macedonia. From there, she came home to play for the Dallas Fury Women's Basketball League. Not done yet, she played and helped Dallas Heroes program from Mark Cuban. And then she still wasn't done, and she was approached as a first double minority to be the coach, general manager, and part owner of a Dallas Skyline TBL team, where she coached her oldest son, Malachi. I give to you Angela Davidson Weathers.
Now, there's an AD who plays a little basketball now, but this was our AD. We're so glad this day has come. Ladies and gentlemen, in-club Hall of Famer, Angela Davidson.
I'm a little taller, so hopefully you all can hear me. I didn't know that I had a speech, so I'm going to speak from the heart. First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and give him all glory and honor. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the talent that he blessed me with and the skills. I want to thank, obviously, my mother. Many, many years of driving me all over the country and lots of sacrifices like many of the athletes that spoke here today. This is an emotional moment for me. The sacrifices that were made for my family. My high school coach, who is here today, Joe Sawells, and one of my teammates, who is a leader, who paved the way for me, who believed in me. I like to say I'm up here because I did lots of things right, but I'm up here because I made many mistakes. I failed over and over and over again. Just like Michael Jordan said, missed many game-winning shots so that I might succeed. The people that are a part of my journey, from my middle school coach to my high school coach, and as you heard my mother say, I chose the SEC because I knew as early as 8th grade I wanted to be a professional basketball player. There was no doubt about it. And there were certain things that you had to do to obtain and achieve that type of accolade. And so I chose Ole Miss, but that didn't stop me from coming back full circle. And I think this is what this is about, is I've come full circle. My mother attended Northwestern State University, and when I decided that I was going to leave Ole Miss, I called up James Smith and I said, hey, you got room for an old girl from Leesville, Louisiana? He said, well, absolutely. So I made way to Northwestern State University, and I was welcomed by not only amazing teammates, but just many people that are in this room today, from Coach McConaughey teaching me in courses, to Doug and the athletic development as far as Greg Burke, just everyone that just embraced me, even though I was back home. It was a difficult process because as you transfer from a certain level of Division I, you have to sit out. And that process of sitting out could have meant me quitting. But the people that I was surrounded by would not allow me to do that. And that was other athletes as well, many that are in this room that some of them probably don't remember, but I went to a soccer game, I went to a baseball game, just supported everyone. And so sports is just it's a community that does that. I want to thank the men's basketball team for letting me play pickup with them sometimes, I would spend countless hours, in the gym. Smitty would say, Coach Smith would say, hey, do you need to get out of here? You're a gym rat. You're going to end up hurt for next season. And I was injured every preseason of my career here, but that didn't stop me. And it just takes so much determination. But really, this journey, it's about other people. And I've heard that story and that cascading message from people that have come up here. And it's really, all this is really about is our witness. I've gone on to do great things and probably will continue to do so, but really it's about others. It's about the countless, I've coached and trained hundreds of athletes, male and female, amateur and professional, that have gone on to play the game. And so nobody would have told me, that I would be standing here today. And, no, I didn't set out to be a Hall of Famer, but I can tell you one thing, that those golden years that they speak of, those were some of the greatest years in sports in the world. I came out of the class in 1998, and that was some of the best players in the world. I was privileged to go on and play with a few of them, but I can tell you, I thank this great institution. I thank you that you all provided a home for me, and you gave me hope as a young teen mom, and I just wouldn't be who I am here today. If it wasn't for you all, and I just wouldn't be here if it weren't for all of you, and I'm just thankful, and again, gratitude is what I woke up with this morning, and so thank you so much for this great honor.
As a mom, a businesswoman, and it comes as no surprise to anybody, but you just said something, Angela. This is now home forever, okay? And you're part of the most elite club athletics offers here at Northwestern. Angela Davidson, y'all, congratulations. Now the old man. This day has been sitting on the side waiting to happen, and it finally has come, the first year on the ballot. Absolutely, I talked to Coach Goodwin, who would love to be here today, but he couldn't. I talked to Coach Cox, I talked to Coach Thompson. They all had one common theme. Every coach this guy played with, or played for, every player that he played against or for, the most dominant player they ever watched. And also a great teammate. And introducing him as a very good player who was a great teammate from the Yam City, Opelousas, Chris Willis.
Good evening, everyone. It is my privilege and it is with great honor that I introduce our Hall of Fame inductee tonight, Andre Caron. He hails from the great city of Opelousas, Louisiana. He started his football career at the age of 12 at East Junior High School. He then transitioned to Opelousas High, where as a sophomore, he played defensive tackle, and his junior and senior year, he was moved back to linebacker, where he won 2 all-parish selections. After completing high school, Northwestern was the only college that recruited him. They was the only one that saw something in him that no one else saw. A warrior, a leader, a champion. Upon arriving as a freshman to Northwestern State, he helped the team win its Southland Conference championship. The next 3 years of his life would change drastically. He was the best football player on the planet. People say a lot of things about a lot of people, but numbers don't lie. He was Southland Conference Defensive Player of the Year, a 2-time All-Louisiana Defensive Player of the Year, a 3-time First Team All-Louisiana, and a 3-time All-Conference. In 1991 alone, he was a Kodak All-American. In 1991, he was also 3 points shy of winning the vote for the best football player in Division I AA in the entire United States of America. He also won the Joe Delaney Leadership Memorial Award. That year, he had 1 interception, 4 fumble recoveries, 5 forced fumbles, 139 negative yards, consisting of 10 sacks, 19 tackles for a loss, and a total of 176 tackles. His career at Northwestern, he played 43 games, consisted of 521 tackles. 90 tackles was the closest the next person had ever got to him. He had 45 tackles for a loss, 5.5 sacks, 7 fumble recoveries, and 11 forced fumbles. In 2007, he was selected to the top 100 players of all time of NSU. He was better known as the Terminator. Offenses would have to scheme and game and how to prevent him from making tackles. He is my friend, my fraternity brother, my high school teammate, and more than that, I would be remiss, he's my brother in Christ. Would you please stand to your feet and help me welcome the Hall of Fame inductee, Andre Caron.
All right, I'm nervous right now because Andre Caron's coming my way. There's a phrase in the bio there that says his violent style of play. And that's no exaggeration. He was the most feared player on any field he took, and he took great joy in being the most feared player. And then as soon as he took off the helmet, he was the nicest guy you could know. God bless you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hall of Famer, Andre Caron. Woo!
For a award like this, it's kind of hard for me to accept it in a sense because there's so many people that's involved through my career playing football that got me to where I was at. I'm not going to be up here too long, but I'll start off just in high school. I was started at defensive tackle as a 10th grader, and I always wondered with Coach Article, what did he see in me coming from junior high to high school to start at defensive tackle? I still don't know to this day. But I remember one game that's kind of, I had two things that kind of like really put my career on track. The first one was in high school. We played against Baker High School at Dave Stadium. And they ran a buffalo on the field. I've never seen a buffalo in my life. They ran a buffalo on the field in high school, and we got a little tiger mascot. He just jumping, but the buffalo running the field. I'm like, man. And then the game went on, and then this offensive tackle engaged on me and blocked me. He blocked me so far back, if you know football, that I passed up the free safety, and he dumped me. I was like, man, what the world going on? I didn't know how to get off a block. So that was one thing right there. I had to go back and adjust some things. Then my junior and senior year, played linebacker. Been taught by one of the best linebacker coaches, I think, in this world, Frank Barrow's, Coach Mac Barrow's father. And he taught me the game, how to play football, how to read, how to react, what to think, what the quarterback doing, the receiver doing, what the running back doing, all the different things that involve in playing a linebacker. But he taught me confidence and aggressiveness and stuff like that. So I did that part, but I think I did it too much in high school because they labeled me as a hot dog. A hot dog is somebody's like, I would personally go on their side, tackle that guy, dump him, and tell their coach, if that's all the place y'all gonna run, y'all gonna be in trouble tonight, in a nice way. So that went on and stuff like that. So I didn't really make all district, which did allow me to make all state. I threw the javelin. I was third in the state when we went to state, we won state. And then Coach Leon Johnson came during track season to Opelousas, to the high school. And him and Coach Barus, I guess they had talked about it and stuff like that. So Coach wanted me to play, come to Northwestern, a dual scholarship, track and football. So I did that, came to Northwestern, threw a couple of times after practice, and Coach Johnson said, Caron, I think you really just want to play football. I said, yes, sir, I really do. That's what I want to do. He said, go ahead, don't worry about it. Everything's good. So I played football freshman year, real confident guy, come from Opelousas, strong, whatever it may be. And I tell you my friends this also that we had a thing called bull in the ring, when a linebacker get in the ring, and all the linebackers around him, and engage in the numbers 12, 3, 6, 9, come back to 12. So he called the number out, 3, you turn bomb, 6, you turn around bomb. So I forgot the numbers one time. He said 3, and I'm turning to 9, and 9 didn't come out, and I go back to 3, and that's when it started. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. They hit me so hard, I got on one knee and started crying. I called Coach Barus. I told him, I said, Coach, I don't think this is for me. I don't think this is for me. He said, well, Caron, look, when you come home, we're going to talk about it. So that break came, we talked about it and stuff like that. Then he got me pretty much back on track. I got stronger. I made a decision in my life to say that I would never, ever be done like that again. And that's when I just started teeing off on everything that moved, whether it was the players, the other team, whoever was on that field had a mouthpiece in, you were in trouble. So we did that. And then all the numbers and stuff like that, I really wasn't a number guy. I really didn't go check my stats and say how many tackles I had, all that stuff like that. So, but you appreciate that at the end. Coach Kaufman, Coach John Thompson, Coach Pierce, those guys there was real influence in my life and also on the field. But the head coach, Coach Gilbert, I used to call him my dad. He was the one that really, really took me in and showed me love, let me kind of like do what I want in a sense, but at the same time, he taught me tough love too. So I want to give him thanks also. But like I said before, this award is it's an individual award, but there's so many people that have lined up to get me where I'm at. I'd like to thank my family for being out here, my nephew Ryan, my sister, my daughter, her kids, Ryan's wife, my two best friends right there in the whole wide world, Chris Willis, and my mentor, counselor, Mr. Willie Jackson. I love you so much, man. I love you guys so much, man. You guys are true, unconditional love friends, you know. But the main thing, and why I'm up here, is because of one person and one person only. Ms. Joyce Reeshaw, can you stand up, please? This lady here, she's the one who got me started where I'm at. She's the one who's been through all the battles, the trials and tribulations. She's the one who's been there. She's the one who drove me down here. She's the one that told me that, Dre, whatever you do, you do it 100%. I wouldn't play football in high school or in junior high. The game wouldn't start until I hear her voice, come on, Dre, come on, Dre. That's when the game started. I had to hear her voice. I love you so much. I love you so much. And I'm glad I'm on this stage, not for the award, but to show my love and show who you are, because you're truly the best. You're truly the best. I'd like to thank Northwestern, the alumni who got me voted. Doug Allen. He's the creator of the Terminator 3. He's the one started it. Great friend, great guy to talk to. Always have a good time, good conversation, encouraging word. Man, thank you so much, Doug. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you guys who have received the award. I'm just in awe just to be up here with you guys and stuff like that. Thank y'all so much, man. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all.
I truly believe, second by one first place vote, by 3 points for the Walter Payton Award. He's the reason there's a Buck Buchanan Award for the nation's best defensive player, because the people who ran that realized this guy should have been recognized as National Player of the Year. Greatness, I'm just telling you. When they stop a football game because you just broke the career tackles record set by a 3-time All-American Gary Reasons, that's pretty special. And then he just went with 130 more tackles than Gary had. It was incredible. Speaking of incredible, Andy, your moment's here. Are you nervous yet? Just a little? Just a bit. Well, wait till you hear this. One of your dear friends, one of your teammates, your second baseman, Tracy Browning.
My name is Tracy Browning, and it is my honor to introduce to you today my college teammate and close friend, Anna Johnston Sullivan. When Annie transferred to Northwestern her junior year, there was no doubt when she stepped on the field, she would be our starting center fielder. Annie was the player that everyone was excited to watch. She brought a level of intensity and passion to the game that was unmatched. She was a true force to be reckoned with, and for lack of better words, she was freaking awesome. She could bunt or slap for base hit doubles, triples, even bombs. And on the bases, it wasn't a matter of if she would steal, but when. All of this is evident in her stats and records she set while at Northwestern. Something you won't see in those stats is Annie's temper. That's right. Don't let her big smile fool you. She had a mean temper. Annie worked hard and set high standards for herself. And when the results weren't what she wanted, you better watch out, because you better bet there's going to be a bat or a helmet flying at you. All kidding aside, Annie's competitiveness and work ethic made everyone around her want to work harder and be better. These weren't just traits that Annie had on the field, but in all aspects of life. Work, school, friendships, and most of all, her family. Annie, I am so proud of you and your accomplishments. I am beyond grateful to have had the opportunity to play alongside you at Northwestern, and even more so for the years of friendship. I now ask that you please join me in introducing your 2023 In-Club Hall of Fame inductee, Anna Johnston Sullivan.
Junior college players, typically if they're really good, they make all-conference one year. Southland Conference Newcomer of the Year, first team all-conference. Southland Conference Player of the Year, of course, first team All-Conference, first team academic All-American. We know you think of Will Clark, you think of Roy Hobbs, there's one phrase that comes to mind, the natural. When she had a bat in her hands or a glove on her hand, she looked like the natural. Annie Johnston. In Club Hall of Fame.
Oh, thank you. When I'm so nervous. When we first walked in, teammates made me feel a lot better, and they're like, look, you're second to last. You're going second to last, which I was relieved until everybody else had come up here and said their speeches, and I just got more nervous to come up here and follow such incredible athletes and speeches that I was just praying Andre would do me a solid and talk for 10 minutes longer. But a lot of people don't know that this was not my first trip to Louisiana when I came on my recruiting trip. I actually went on a recruiting trip to McNeese and was sat with a teammate of mine from my junior college at Central Arizona and was told, as he offered her a full ride scholarship, and me 20%, and said outfielders were a dime a dozen. And I left there feeling a little humbled and very discouraged. And then I came on my trip to Northwestern, and I never felt so welcomed and so just wanted that I fell in love with this town. Coach McNutt recruited me. She ultimately didn't end up coaching me, but she must have read that scouting report forward and backward, because Steel Magnolia is one of my favorite movies still to this day. I love all things Christmas lights, fireworks, fall, food, and she brought me here in December. And I remember that sitting on the bank of the river and watching the fireworks, I just prayed that they wanted me as much as I wanted to be a demon in that moment. I just was enamored with this town, with the university, and sorry, my son is calling me right now. And I accidentally clicked on it, so I lost my spot. That's the first time I've never answered a phone call from my son. So it's still vibrating in my hand. I was just enamored with this town, and I just fell in love with it. And so after 2 days of meat pies, Mr. Lane's jambalaya, meeting the most incredible teammates I've ever met, a small bar scuffle, we met with the coach, and luckily they hadn't heard about our little escapade, because they offered me a scholarship to attend NSU, and I have never said yes so quickly in my life. Like I said, ultimately the coach that recruited me ended up taking another job, and I was left with another difficult choice. I didn't know what I was going to be coming into, but after speaking with Mr. Burke at length, I decided to stay. And a little did I know that they had hired a coach that would mesh seamlessly with my style of play, which was slightly aggressive. And as I heard them talking about Andre, I leaned over to Tracy and I said, I should have played football. You get celebrated for being aggressive in football. But very quickly, the 17 other strangers on that team became my family. Playing at this university allowed me the opportunity to grow in ways I never could have imagined, and I feel so incredibly honored to have those achievements recognized here today. NSU not only changed me as an athlete, but it also allowed me to reach academic achievements that I always thought were out of my reach. I was a C student at best in high school, and I graduated summa cum laude from Northwestern, and I credit the teachers, my teammates, for holding me accountable. just the incredible university in itself, athletics, academics, everything. The biology degree that I earned from Northwestern laid the foundation for my career in nursing, and I am just so incredibly thankful for all the memories that came with being a Demon, and I know I wouldn't be where I am today without my time here, and I will be forever grateful for that. I wanted to add a special thank you to Mr. Burke. When an AD remembers not only your walk-up song from 20 years ago, but stats and plays your own mother forgot, you know you're in a place where you're valued. My coach, Ty Singleton, for fostering, at the time, my very unorthodox style of slapping and letting me run some more. And most of all, thank you to my teammates for supporting me here today and for the many years when life and distance got in the way, being able to pick up right where we left off. Y'all get you some teammates like them, because not only did they drive 2, 3, 4 hours to come here today, they brought me a dress, which out of the 5 things I brought to wear today, I ended up wearing this one. Their kids are here today and sat through 2 hours of us, not only last night, talking about the old days and our prime, but sitting through 2 hours of this today. I'm just so incredibly grateful for y'all. You're my favorite people in the whole world, and you always have been. On a lighter note, I want to add that I also have a husband who's a former collegiate athlete, and 2 boys, 20 and 17, that are also athletes. And I'm especially grateful to NSU for the honor of being able to walk the tallest in the house these days. Thank you very much. Go Demons. I've watched everybody else.
She says, well, I watched everybody else, but I'm still a little nervous. Annie, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I just wish I could be that nervous and do that well. Great job. We'll finish here in a few minutes. We'll bring the past inductees up as well as the new inductees. Then we'll get the new inductees outside by the fountain for pictures. We will also reconvene at 3 o'clock in Prather Coliseum for the Lady Demon volleyball game. Our new inductees will be introduced after the second game in the break between sets. That there's no charge to attend the Lady Demon volleyball, and they're very good and entertaining to watch. So please keep that in mind. We saved the guy with the doctoral degree in English for last because we said, well, he'll speak brilliantly. He always has. Will, you got to follow all this. It's kind of unfair in a way, but you're the perfect person to do this. Before his career ended, we knew this day was coming. One of the most remarkable student athletes in the history of Northwestern State University, without a question, is Will Broussard. And so when I saw who was introducing him, I'm thinking, wait, Jeff Morris wasn't coaching him here. Jeff Morris was his offensive line coach at Crowley High School. So that's the fit, and this is Jeff Morris talking about Dr. Will Broussard.
Hello, I'm Jeff Morris. It's my honor to speak with you today about Dr. William Broussard. I first met William in 1993. I was a really young offensive line coach at Crowley High School in Crowley, Louisiana. William was my starting center. And I remember, even though it was early in my career, distinctly thinking, this kid is probably going to be the best center that I ever get to coach. And all these years later, he's still hands down the best center I've ever coached. William was always very strong academically as well. I was very fortunate to be invited a few times by he and his family to attend some academic award ceremonies later in his senior year. Got to know his parents. His parents were great people. They were both educators, had been teachers and administrators. So it's easy to see how he had this instilled in him strong academics from an early age. After his senior football season, recruiting was really light for him. All the coaches that came through and watched his film loved him as a player. They didn't think he was large enough to hold up and be a college offensive lineman. In the meantime, he had applied for and received a full academic scholarship from the Louisiana Scholars College. I had been a graduate assistant here at NSU, knew Sam Goodwin, knew the offensive line coach here at the time, Steve Mullins. So through all that, William comes to NSU to walk on. And the rest is history, you could say. He made the most of that experience. William was a two-time All-American. He was a National Football Foundation Scholar Athlete winner. He won the Joe Delaney Memorial Leadership Award. He was a Rhodes Scholar candidate, Burger King Scholar Athlete. He was selected to the All-Decade Team of 1990s for the Southland Conference. He was selected top 100 Demon football players of all time. If that's not enough achievement, he graduates from NSU, enrolls at the University of Arizona, where he earns a master's degree and a doctorate degree. So William Broussard exemplifies the can-do spirit of NSU. So congratulations, Dr. William Broussard. You are a 2023 inductee into the In-Club Hall of Fame.
That National Football Foundation honor, there's so many honors on his resume, and you can read them all. But that one, that's a black tie dinner in New York City with the 15 most outstanding senior scholar athletes from every level of college football. Anybody administratively in college football is at that event. It's really bigger than the Heisman Trophy in a lot of ways, because it's not about who the best player is on the best team. It's about recognizing all-around excellence as an athlete, as a scholar, and he has lived up to that since. In-Club Hall of Famer, please welcome Will Broussard.
It's good to be home. One thing that I always appreciate about being back in Natchitoches, which is not my original home. I was, as Coach Morris mentioned, from Crawley, Louisiana. And of course, I make my home now a bit further north than here. I flew in from Madison, Wisconsin a couple of days ago. It was 21 degrees. Thursday morning when I got up, it warmed up for us, at least. For me to make the trip down to Madison to fly back here. But this has always been home. Ever since the first day I stepped on campus, even before I was enrolled in school here, coming up here for regional track meets in high school, this place always felt like home. Similar size to my hometown. The people were extremely friendly. And I learned so much more about what it meant to be home when I was enrolled in school here. I gained 100 brothers on that football team and a whole bunch of uncles in the form of the coaches who coached here, some terrific mentors in the form of the faculty who were here. And every time I come back, I really do feel like I'm back at home. Every person who goes to college has an alma mater. The difference here is that everybody who comes to Northwestern State University gains a home. And that's always resonated with me since the time I was here on campus. I'm supremely appreciative to my family and my extended family. There are too many to name, so I don't want to name too many and leave anybody out, but I do want to mention that as I'm inducted into this Hall of Fame, that I bring Wilfred Broussard, my father, and Elizabeth Broussard, my mother, into the Hall of Fame with me. From my father, I learned about quiet, strength, and leadership, that your actions mean more than your words. And from anybody who remembered watching me play football, one thing that I did about better than anybody else that ever played offensive line was I was very good at keeping a low pad level, and I had really quick feet. And I learned that from my mother, because when she would swing that belt at me, it helped to be able to stay low and keep them feet high. So she maybe only hit me one out every 2 or 3 times, keeping me in line. My mother came to most of my football games, and I can't ever say that she enjoyed watching me play, because my mom, I learned this after I was done playing, when the ball would snap, which she could always find me because I played center, she'd cover her eyes, and then when she heard the referee blow the whistle, she'd open her eyes and just look and try to make sure I was still walking. And that's how she knew I was doing well. I don't think she had any idea that I was an all-district level football player. She just knew that I remained in one piece for most of my career. So I'm appreciative to them, to my family, who I, as I mentioned, bring into the Hall of Fame with me. Both of them have passed away. But I think a lot about what they taught me and a lot about what they left me with at a pretty young age that would carry me on through the rest of my life as I looked for more family, not to replace the family that I had lost, but to add to the support that I would need to do the things I would do throughout my life. And I found that family here. And that's also why this feels like home. A lot of the accomplishments that folks have talked about this morning, for some of you came in that 2-year span because you were a junior college transfer. For others of us, it was in a 4-year span because you played your entire careers here. I don't know if anybody else in here got to do it twice, but I got to spend 4 years here twice. I didn't come back as a super senior, and I didn't have a medical red shirt, but I had the great fortune and privilege to actually be an employee of Northwestern State University. After I finished up my doctoral work at the University of Arizona, I got to come back and work for the athletic department and the university that played such a crucial role in shaping my life and preparing me for the rest of my life. And so in addition to being able to play here as a student athlete, to earn my degree from the Scholars College, I got to come back and raise money for the university and provide scholarships for student athletes. And it was truly a full circle moment for me to be able to come back and to be able to give back the way that I was given to. And I'm tremendously grateful for that experience as well. I want to close the remarks, and the biggest challenge about doing that is trying to do it in a way that's fitting, as a way of honoring everybody who's spoken before me this morning and my fellow inductees who I also want to congratulate. We don't have a whole lot in common. Some of you still look like you could play. I know good and damn well I couldn't snap a ball and reach a 3 technique, so y'all are still ahead of me. I still wouldn't block Andre Caron. Good Christ. He shows up in my nightmares sometimes. I just remember watching film on him. I was like, I'm glad he was on our side. And I did play with Ahmad Willis, and again, center, defensive end. Perfect. Stay over there. I think they tried to move him down to 3 technique my senior year. No, don't do that. Don't do it. For his sake. No, he's good out there. I didn't want to have to block him. I didn't like lifting weights with him. I didn't like conditioning with him. Damn sure didn't want to have to block him. So I want to close in a way that's fitting and maybe it's something that we all have in common. And I was thinking about our fight song. And I'll spare you my singing of the fight song and just ask you to think about how the song ends. Fight for dear old Demon Land. And I want you to think about, even though our playing days are over, how we can still fight for dear old Demon Land. In the industry I work in now, I'm still in higher education. I raise money for a university in Wisconsin. And we talk to people about giving, and a lot of people will say, look, if I hit the lotto, you're first on the list, right? Okay, that's great. But let's talk about now and in between when you hit the lotto. How can you give? And everybody thinks I'm about to hit them up for money. And I will eventually. But there's so many other ways to give. We talk about time, we talk about talent, we talk about treasure. Okay? All of us have time. Yeah, we've got our jobs, we've got our families, we have our communities, we have our churches, we have obligations. I get it. But for everything that this university has done for us, we can find some time to fight for Demonland. Time that you can spend helping a young person who's making a decision about college and putting in a plug for Northwestern State University. Time that you can spend reconnecting with your teammates and thinking about how good and how fast you used to be, right? And man, maybe we should get together. Let's meet down in Natchitoches and go catch a ball game. Let's reach out to the coaching staff, whether that team is hoisting championship trophies or going through some of the darkest days in the history of the program. Reaching out to those coaches and encouraging them, reaching out to the administrators and telling them that you support them. Reaching out to some of these stubborn legislators who could do more to support this school and reminding them that you live in their district and that you're a voter. Reaching out to those teammates, and we all have one, and some of them are the most improbable. When I think about some of the knuckleheads that I played ball with who are millionaires now, right? I believe it was H.L. Mencken who said nobody ever went broke, underestimating the stupidity of the American people. Some of the people I played with, in order for them to become millionaires, come on. But they're millionaires, and they got their start here. Encouraging those people to give back, right? We can all do that. We can all find the time to do that. Talent, right? You heard a lot of folks mention today that they still coach or that they're educators now because of what they learned here, what they were inspired to do here. But we can all play roles as educators, right? We can share our talents, right? The talents that we had as student athletes here can be used in the form of storytelling to encourage a future generation. We can recruit young folks who are looking for somewhere to play ball, who maybe aren't getting those phone calls that they think they should be getting. And we can remind them that this is not only an option for them, but it may be the option that shapes the rest of their lives. And for those of you who do have treasure, for those of you who do have it to give, whether that's $5 or $5 a month or any increment, give back when you can. Every young person who is working on a degree here right now is working for that degree at a time where higher education has become more expensive than at any point in American history. And these young people are working sometimes 2-3 jobs just to make enough money to get through college. A lot of us were very fortunate. We had scholarships that took care of us, and we didn't have to do that. So every dollar that you can give back is maybe that's one less shift that student has to pick up so that they can focus on those midterms, focus on those finals, graduate, go back and be of service to their families, their communities, their churches, their regions, their states, this country, this world, which sorely needs it. So I encourage all of you as we leave today thinking about how we can fight for dear old Demonland to think about how you can give back. There's never a bad time to start. And I also want you to think about everything that you've been given by this remarkable institution. Every challenge I've faced in my adult and professional life since leaving Northwestern State University, no matter how insurmountable that challenge appeared to be, I always knew one thing. If I could survive 2-a-days at Northwestern State University, if I could survive Dr. Jay Means' midterm exams, my mentor in the Louisiana Scholars College, if I can make it through that, I can make it through anything. And because of that foundation that this great institution has given me, I'm able to share that enthusiasm with this current and with future generations of students. And I couldn't be prouder to do that while waving the flag of Northwestern State University. So I encourage all of you former Demons who are here to keep fighting for dear old Demon Land, for some of these future Demons I see out here. I hope one day that you get to fight for dear old Demon Land as well. Thank you. I appreciate you. Forcum Demons.
Okay, Will, don't go anywhere. Spears, Coach Mike, AO, Aaron, all of you past in-club Hall of Fame inductees. Greg, come on up here. Big Spears brought a pumpkin. And now will our current year inductees please join us on stage? That's the 2001 team. That's Mr. and Ms. Willis. It's Jackie and Brittany and BMO, Aaron, AD, the Terminator. Annie, you're not finished being on stage quite yet. And Will. This is as good as it gets at Northwestern State University in athletics. The In-Club Hall of Fame. One round of applause. And now we're going to group everybody in a lot closer for picture. Do you know the words to the fight song? Do you know the words to the fight song? Big Spears? Okay. Spears, Will, get here. We are going to sing the fight song. And Annie Johnson, you got to come.
Hold on, we got this. You ready? Go, you demons, take the field. Northwestern demons never yield. So fight, demons, win tonight. Victory is on our side. Go fight when purple and white shall ever reign. Filling the air with battle strength. So demon, forever stand and fight for the demon land. Hey! Hold on. Now, Mr. Broussard, you said give back. Okay. I came up with the 1884 plan, where everybody in here can give $18.84 a month, the same that you give to Netflix, you can give to Northwestern, $18.84 a month. You sign up, and it come out your checking account. If you want your tax write-off, we'll give it to you. But $18.84, we can afford that, can't we? Here we go.
And as a special incentive, you get an autographed Marcus Spears Halloween pumpkin. Congratulations, In-Club Hall of Famer.